This is how my 23-year-old client got 130K in business funding in less than 45 days, and you can steal their strategy. I'm going to show you exactly which data points that she had, which data points that you would need to seal this strategy. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to show you exactly which banks we went to and how much funding we got from each bank. Let's go. What's going on? It's Colin Brown here from Business Credit Unlimited. I'm back. So I'm saying what's going on? It's Colin Brown here from Business Credit Unlimited, and we're back. Or I'm back. Anyways, let's go. Let's go. So what you see on the screen here is a game plan that we create for all of our clients that shows all of their data points that we're looking for to get them the maximum amount of business funding. It's really more for us, but it's something that they keep track with too as well. So let's see how my client got 130K in less than 45 days. First, let's look at the data points. I'm going to show you exactly what the score is, all that good stuff, credit utilization, which cards they have, and then I'm going to show you which banks we went to on the business side, and even what other banks we have left to go for them, because they're not finished. This is just 130K in 45 days that we got for them. So let's get to it. Now, credit score, only 721, 724, and 771 for credit score. And I'm saying only because we deal with clients from anywhere from 750, 800. I even have a client with a perfect credit score, literally 850. So 720 is amazing, but it's not the absolute best credit score that you can have. And my client found me from YouTube, so it's a possibility that she's watching this. So I'm not saying it like it's a bad score, or if you have a 720, I'm not like you only have it. All I'm saying is that you don't have to have the absolute perfect profile to get over 100K in business funding. That's why I'm saying this. So anyways, oldest personal card is a very important data point to also keep track of. If your oldest personal card is only like 2 months, unless you have a great relationship with every bank that you're going to apply for, you're going to have a hard time with approvals. We typically like to see at least a year and a half, but really, I like to see like 5 years, 10 years, things like that. But this client is only 23 years old, so it makes sense that she's only had credit history for 4 years, which I'm saying the word only, which, again, I'm just saying it could be a lot higher, but this makes perfect sense for being 23 years old. She did amazing. I didn't have a car when I was 23. I don't think I had a car that was 4 years old. Actually, I had one right at 18, but I messed it up, and my credit score would be even higher. I'm at like 830 something, but I probably would already be at 850 if I would have kept that one card. So great job for her. But again, still not perfect, but she got funded. So we'll see how. Over 524, essentially, if you know about the Chase 524 rule, if you know, more than 5 personal credit cards reporting to your personal credit history, not increase, within the last 24 months, something that we keep track of, not a huge deal, but she's under 524. Highest credit limit, 7,500, which is not the absolute best. I mean, normally I like to see anything over 5K as I have here, because if you see here on my screen, if you can follow my mouse, we use, I ain't in this out, the data that they have was highlighted on this row, and then under it is pretty much the measuring stick of what we like to see minimum to get a client funded. So as you see here, I have preferably highest limit at 5K, but I mean, she's over it, but I mean, not by too much, 7,500, which is cool. It's okay. As you see, it still worked out for her. So derogatory items, no derogatory items. And by the way, really quickly, side note, when I do these client reviews, I am literally taking the client's game plan, making a copy of it, taking out any proprietary information, and then just run it from there. And I add like some of these notes right here, but that's it. This is raw data. So if you were looking to get your business funded, you want to pay attention to these data points. Anyway, so recent accounts open the last 6 months, no recent accounts. You don't want to come to, you know, come to the table for business funding if you just been applying like crazy. Like you have at least like 8 accounts in like the last 30, 60 days. You might want to let that thing rest for a little bit before you apply for funding. And that's why we don't just go crazy and try to get, depending on the client, we don't try to get like 500K within like 30, 60, 90 days, because you're going to trigger the banks if you have just too much going on at one time. Or if you've just been going crazy on the personal side, you want to be careful. Okay. Just saying. Now, total accounts. This is something that we track too as well. Not the absolute best either. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying in comparison to where it could be. Total accounts, preferably at least 10, but this is not a huge deal. All this means is that she has 10, 11, and 7 open accounts reporting respectively to TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And it's because she's 23. Like, of course, she's not going to have like 20, 30 accounts and a really thick profile at only 23 years old when you cannot start building credit history essentially until 18 years old. So she's done an amazing job given the amount of time. Hard increase. She actually had 0. So she hadn't been applying for anything, which also helped out a lot. So again, when you come into the table where you're about to apply for funding, you want to get rid of as many inquiries as possible that's not attached to opening accounts. We do that for our clients, but there are plenty of guides on YouTube and how you can remove inquiries yourself. If it's me personally, I want somebody to do it for me. I don't even like doing it for myself, really. So that's why I'm glad we have a system for it. But hey, anyways, you could do it yourself. Okay, that's pretty much it as far as the like main data points on the personal profile. And of course, the reason I'm going over the personal profile is we have to leverage your personal profile for big business funding until your company hits like $1 million plus in revenue annually. Until then, you're going to want to use your personal profile. Just for those that aren't aware, they're like, you're talking about business funding. Why are you talking about her personal profile? That's why. Now, let's go over some of the facts about the clients. And some of these things are already covered. I just jotted down some quick notes when I was making this. So number one, total credit limit's not that high. We're going to go over this in a second with her personal credit utilization, but that's something I like to see, at least like total credit limits. I like to see at least like a 20K. You could definitely get away with way less, like a 15 or something, but I really like to see 20K, 25K total credit limits, meaning the amount of personal credit cards that you have. If you added all the limits together, it would at least be 20K, but really 25 is better, 50 is better, 75 is even better, because the higher the total credit limits that you have, the more likely that you are to get higher limits on the business side because you've handled more on the personal side. Makes sense? Like if you're coming to the table and you're trying to go for 130K like this client, and you've only shown that you can handle 5K total. I mean, just think about it. If you're a bank, would you want to lend to you if you haven't shown that you can handle that amount of money? Just think about it. So highest credit limit, also not that high as 7,500. Not bad, just not the absolute highest. I mean, we normally deal with clients that range from anywhere from like a 7,500 like this, but we've seen 50, 60K limits just on the personal side. So I haven't seen a 96K limit. It blew my mind that someone had that on the personal side, but that's like the highest I've seen on the personal side, but still not including a HELOC, just an actual personal credit card. But anyways, credit history, also not the longest, 4 years, which again is great for her. Just saying, you still can get funded even if you don't have the absolute best data points. But here's where it starts to get interesting. She's been a business owner for 3 years at the time I'm recording this. So let me tell you this, like when it comes to getting business funding, if you have a business that's been generating revenue for say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years like this, it's going to make it a lot easier to get business funding for a multitude of reasons. You may be saying, well, isn't this all no docs? Because By the way, all 130K of this was no docs at all. So no bank statements, no tax returns, none of that stuff. Literally nothing. Unless you count a picture of your ID as a doc. No docs at all. So why does this matter? Well, because when you apply for funding with a bank, they are going to be checking to see if your business is visible out online or, your website, different things like that. And it's not that generating revenue actually creates that, but the longer you've been in business, the more likely you're going to be in more places online. Like if you Google my name or my business, like a ton of stuff is going to show up. Like you're going to see over 100 5-star Google reviews. You're going to see a BBB listing. Like it's a ton of stuff that's out there. So if someone wants to do business with me, they can look and see, oh man, okay, Colin's been around for a while. He's not just somebody just popped up out of nowhere. So it helps. It definitely helps. And that's what changed for this client, or excuse me, I ain't ending it out though. That's what made this client different, even though that she doesn't have the oldest, thickest credit profile. She does have a revenue generating business, which generates around 10 to 20K a month. I've already said she's 23 years old, state, New Jersey, and she even has a mortgage account. So she has some variety to her profile, just not the thickest profile, which again, doesn't matter. It's not needed for funding. Just saying, just for those of you out there that has had credit history only for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you're like, dang, can I get funding with this? Yes, you can, if everything else adds up, of course, but it's possible is where I'm getting at. Credit utilization. So this is literally what her credit utilization was. I promise you, like Pinky promise you, I literally took this, copied it over, took out any proprietary information, and this is her actual personal credit cards, actual limits, all that stuff. So total credit limit 26,900 at 7% credit utilization. That's a really good number to start applying for funding. So, but look at the actual banks. I normally like to see like some of the major banks like a Chase, Bank of America, PNC, American Express. Those are some of the banks that I typically like to see, but she doesn't have any of those. It's pretty much some store cards and Capital One, pretty much. But it didn't hold her back from funding because of the business and, everything else she has going on. She's taking care of her personal credit history, no late payments, no derogatories, and this is what it got her, 130K in business funding. Now, let's get down to it. What some of you guys are looking for, which banks did he go to? What's the limits? Okay, let's go to that. Now, here's the funding strategy or the funding sequence that we follow for the client. I blanked out just like 2 of the banks because I can't show y'all everything, but I did show you like 2 of the other banks that we haven't even applied to yet. So how did we get to 130K? Only 3 banks. Number 1, Chase Bank with the Chase Unlimited Business Credit Card, 0% interest for 12 months. We got a 75K limit. Also with Truist, which is also 0% interest for 12 months, meaning you can charge whatever you want on here. You won't pay any interest at all for a whole year. That's going to be 20K that she got approved there. And in Citizens Bank, sent her into our business relationship manager, 35K approval. Add that up together, that's 130K approved. Okay. So pretty cool stuff, right? And this all happened in less than 45 days, and that's literal too as well. And I think it was more like 34 or 5 days, something like that. So it wasn't even really close to 45 days because she got this Chase Unlimited approval in literally like less than 2 weeks. She didn't know I existed 2 weeks from that time and literally got funded for 75K. And the rest of it came, as she had time within her business and we kind of got everything together. I ain't gonna tell you the whole profile right now, but anyways, excuse me, the whole process, but y'all get it. I'm just saying it took some time to kind of get some other things, tweak some other things, and put everything together, but we got her going 130K, less than 45 days. And these are the banks that we went to. We're going to go also to Wells Fargo and Bank of America. And we also got some other banks kind of on the back burner there just to kind of increase it because she's looking for like a 200K. So we're going to boost it there. We got some more cards that we can get even within the banks that we already have, like a Chase and a Truist. We can go for multiple cards within them. So we should be able to hit that 200K number, no problem, within the next 45 days. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to give you guys which banks we went to, a lot of the data points, some of the information you need to know so you can steal this strategy for yourself. Now, disclaimer, all three of these banks, we actually sent out her application with business relationship managers, which is a higher tier banker than the one that works at your local branch, which allows us to get approved for higher limits at a higher approval rate. And you have a direct plug to the bank instead of just being at the mercy of an online application and not knowing when the world you're going to get. So if you will want that hand holding tool as well, you want us to create your application, send it off to a business relationship manager so you can get a higher limit too as well. Hit the description, book a call with us. We'll go through, see if you qualify first, which is the most important. And if you do, we'll talk about what it looks like working together and see if we can get you approved for a higher limit too as well. I handed it out. It's all good. That's pretty much it though. Of course, you guys let me know if you have any questions about this profile in particular or any questions about Funny in the comments. And make sure that you like the video, comment, because I love seeing you guys' comments, and then subscribe as well for more fun and videos that are coming in weekly, baby. Let's go. See y'all in the next one. Peace.